Yeah, y'all know what it is. It's TK the Poet. You already know it, so you ain't gotta. Yeah. Y'all should know the rest of my slogan by now. But yeah, I'm a couple minutes late, 4 minutes late. We on color people time right now. But yeah, we here. We're here to talk about the couple of topics that were brought up in last time we was live. But if y'all don't know, let's go ahead and get the spill out. This is Poetry Life. We have great poets on our team. Um, Starting off, let me call out our roster. We have the two-time champion of Poetry Life, reigning champion of Poetry Life, Finn the Human. Then we had Deacon Rabbit Curry, Eric Curry, one of our other poets, and we have Exclusive, one of the most dynamic poets that we have in the group, Miss Exclusive. Then we have Nikki Royale. Nikki Royale, hey, she's the superstar of the team, and we have the Don, the did it Don, the love poet of the group. Shout out to the Don, and also Justice. Shout out to Justice. She just graduated criminal justice, UNT. She's handling business. Whenever she has some available time, she will make her appearance. But she's dealing with the graduate. Hey, it's always good to see someone graduate. College. We here. So then also we're going live on every platform that YouTube, Black Room Media. Please subscribe to the channel, Black Room Media. Please go. That's the only thing we can how we can grow. If y'all go subscribe, like, comment, all that. Hey, we need all the support. Then also we on Facebook, under my page, TK the Poet. Then also on the Portrait Life, the group. Hey, there's a lot of dope poets in that group. We're getting members every day. I think we're up to 4,200. So man, hey, we're growing. So Portrait Life is on the rise. So this is the real talk. But also hold up. We have merch, we have shirts. Hey, come get them. Hey, we still got some. And shout out to the people that bought them. Hey, send those pictures for I can show people. Hey, we got people supporting us. So again, I'm gonna bring up also shout out Glenn Kitchen. My bad, my apologies. Shout out our sponsors real quick. Shout out Glenn's Kitchen and also my wife, beautiful Nana page. Women empowerment, sister talk, sisterhood. We're bringing that back. So beautifully us. Go subscribe to that page on Facebook in all entirety. So okay, now we here since we got all the branding out the way. We here for what we here for. We here for the real talk. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the two-time reigning champion of Poetry Life, being the human. Hey, we got Finn the human. What's going on with you?
Oh man, living the dream, you know it.
Oh, you living a dream? Okay. So you ready for these topics that we're gonna get into?
Yeah, what's that topic? These scandalous women and they trifling ways.
Oh, we're gonna do it like that. Oh man, look, I'm gonna have to bring up. Hey, go Finn, go and introduce yourself and let people know who you are.
What it do? I'm Phin the Human, poet. Just doing my thing, man. Trying to be the best me I can be.
Okay. So right now we're gonna bring to the stage. Miss Exclusive.
Let me get this elbow grease on because I hear Phin already talking smack.
Like, oh, he's here for it. Hey, but we here for it though. So Exclusive, go ahead and give a little shout out to the people that may not know who Exclusive is.
What's going on, everybody? I'm your girl Exclusive. I love to keep it 100 because anything less is definitely somebody else. I am your host for Poetry After Dark every Friday at our new time, 9 o'clock. So come on out, spit a couple bars, share a couple experiences. Let us get into your business about what that pen do. Let us bleed your ink out and see what it's made of. But I just love being here. I love the opportunity. Shout out to Poetry Life. If it ain't Poetry Life, It ain't poetry.
No, that's for real. For real. I like that, man. We just go ahead and put that up there for the world can see.
Period.
You know, if it's not poetry, like it's not poetry. Hey, we are the NBA of poetry.
Period.
That's a fact. So, how did you feel about the last Friday Night Live? No, not the Friday, but what was Sunday? Sunday. Look, my days are messed up because I had to go to work today, and usually I don't work on Saturdays or Sundays. So I'm thinking it's Monday. I'm like, no, Sunday. Oh, it is Sunday. So, what you thought about poetry after dark?
Are you asking me or are you asking Phin?
I'm asking exclusive.
About how do I feel about poetry after dark?
Yes.
It's my baby. I gotta love her because if I don't, nobody else will. And even if she's the cheese that stands alone, her mama gonna be on her. So I love the opportunity. It's a lot more tedious than I thought because I'm a homebody. I am exclusive. I like to be back here. However, that is not what my current journey's assignment is. So I'm here. I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm gonna keep rocking it until the wheels fall off.
Rock. Mini rock.
And you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much, because I'm still getting acclimated. But again, one thing I definitely understand is that I can't wait for everybody else.
Nah,
you can't.
So I'm definitely enjoying it. It feels good. It feels good. Hey, Miss April. It feels good. I love getting the feedback. I love having the conversations. I love asking questions because not only are they getting into the meat of what makes poetry life, and what makes the poets, what makes them swell, it's like music. So it's amazing to sit with other artists and get into what makes those artists who they are. Every piece of wisdom, every conversation, whether it's a laugh, a joke, a cry, or just an opportunity for me to be transparent. There are maybe sometimes I don't even understand what I wrote, but someone else may say, oh, okay, was it this? Or as I'm saying it out loud, it's a revelation to me. So it's all an opportunity to grow and to harvest in my craft. And I can't find fault with that.
Okay. Well, Debbie, so before we get into this poetry session, we'll wait for a couple more people to come in. But this is Poetry Life, so Phin the Human. Why don't you lead us off with a poem? Give us one of those fire poems.
All right, hold on a second. Let me get situated here. It all started in the Garden of Olives during the process of multiple cold turkeys. I left the cold shoulder with bravado abolished, her heartless with the invoking of bold curses. So I ditched Jesus and ducked behind the curtain, and a good friend uttered, "You're going to hell and you deserve it." Perfect. For being targeted by the warship is infinitely better than an eternity of worship. Flashback to every feigned hallelujah. Stockholm the abuses, fostered the delusions. Fledgling clay in the claws of Medusa. Crossborn lunacy, exhausted all scrutiny, sequestering imperative, no questioning the narrative, heritage either parroting the sacraments or an exorcism of its arrogance. No variance, abandoned spirituality for its aridness, but it's apparent in the various areas of my character that I'm an honest God oddity. With the singular feet of thunder followed the bunny to wonderment in the hitch-slapped and harassed ideology. I no longer believe in heaven, the Hades, maybe an ethereal conspiracy of cartography. Follow me on this arduous, fall at this hyominous velocities or coincidence or augury. For 1621 Mercurian days, my inner monologue had been a cacophony of debauchery, but in my search for God, I found serendipity, so there is no apology for my apostasy.
Ew.
Fire. Gotta give it a hands of applause. Eric Curry was in the building, but I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he'll kick back in. Hey, you got some applause in the audience, Phin the Human.
Ew.
Appreciate it.
but you know,
So exclusive.
it-
Hold on. Exclusive. I got a question. I heard you say that sometimes you write something and you said that you don't really know, or you didn't see something in particular, and somebody will read it and then come back to you and say, "This is what I got out of it."
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, "Oh yeah, I see that now too." So I've had that happen to me before, and so
Okay, good.
but I was wondering, do you take credit for that aspect of it?
No, I don't. And the reason being is because there's a lot of times that I write, and I know I don't want this to sound too off or too weird, but sometimes I write from, the other day when we were talking about your poetry alias is like its own spirit. And there are a lot of times that I'll sit and I'm going. And as it's falling out of my head, I'm putting it down. And so I may go back and go, God dog, I wrote that. Or God dog, I didn't even realize I put this to this. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times that I literally just get up and go and shoot it on off. And so then once I go back, it's like, oh, snap. You know what I mean? But it's always been like that for me, because once it's turned on, it's turned on.
Right. Right.
okay, hold on for a sec. You know, I got to bring up a couple more people. You know, we got the great Eric Curry in the building. You know,
Deacon.
I haven't seen Eric Curry in a while, so you know, it's a pleasure to see him on the platform. Shout out to Eric
people
from the car office. Deacon.
What's up, people? How y'all doing?
Hey,
What's
we
going
doing
on,
great.
sir?
But also, we got another all-star that's coming to the stage. You know, her name is the diddy.
Ow.
You know who it is. It's the all-star, the Dunn. Like the sun.
Hey, what's up?
We in the building.
What's good? Phin.
Hey, this feel like home again.
Yeah, it feel good. It feel good
It
right
feel
now.
like home again. What's going on with you?
Chilling, big chilling.
Hey man, did y'all catch the other live Poetry After Dark? Hey, it was some real good stuff going on.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Exclusive always holding it down. You already know. You already know the game. You already know.
Thank you, Mama. I love you.
No, I'm catching you next time.
She's always holding
Whenever
it down,
you ready,
sure.
you know to play. Look, my platform is your platform whenever.
I got you. I got you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's facts.
What's good, Don? You know, I had to hold it down for you on Poetry After Dark. Had to tell him
Hey, man,
not
so
too much on the Don. I had to tell
Oh my
him.
God. He act like I was saying something. I didn't even say nothing.
Man, you know Phin comes with it, man, every time. I love you.
Finn.
I love me some Phin. What's up, Phin?
Living the dream.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We got a house now, y'all. We're gonna get a house.
We got a house.
Yeah.
Ow. Now we got to find Miss Justice. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her and her graduation. But yeah, I did get the opportunity to check on Miss Nikki, and I know that she is recovering still. So shout out to her and her absence. We love you and we miss you.
Yeah.
It's you. No, y'all two are the vets right now. Phin and Exclusive, y'all the vets.
Yo, you're the best. I love you. I really do. I told Phin, this how we got into it. Because I said, Phin, I can't wait. I said, oh my God, I can't wait to get with Dawn. I just want to squeeze her. He talking about something, not too much on Dawn. I said, what you mean? Talking about don't squeeze her. No, I'm going to squeeze her.
That's my love language. I told y'all I like to be cuddled. So
she wants to be squeezed though.
Who's gonna cuddle me? Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I follow you. You know I'm with you, Exclusive, every time.
But Phin, just in case, you know what I'm saying? Phin held it down like, don't be putting your hands.
That's my man. Bro. He gonna look out for me.
Right.
That's why. That's all it is. He's just looking out for me.
He was looking, child, in the wrong direction, but he was looking.
But Phin, I do like, so you know, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? I like this right here.
What you got going today, Deacon? You always in that car, in the car office. Where you
Look,
going?
I just dropped my daughters off. I'm headed back to the house.
Shout out to the baby girls.
Yeah, I'm always on the go, especially this past week. I've just been everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm on my way to the house, and then I can really settle down and really jump into some stuff with y'all. What we talking about tonight?
Oh,
we
they
got
was
some
cutting up.
We got
They
some
were
topics.
cutting up.
I don't know what you're talking about. Exclusive, not too much on Poetry After Dark. Take it easy.
Cutting. Look, I don't have no respect to person. I whoop my own kid. Cutting up, Deacon.
They were cutting up.
Cut
We're gonna have to play about it.
That don't
You
even sound like
understand?
that don't even sound like anything I do. That don't even sound like me.
It sounds like you said some stuff. What did you say?
You know, Phin, you know they first of all talk about deadbeat moms being trash, women being trash.
Oh, I could talk about deadbeat moms all day.
Then
That's
we
what I'm
talked
talking about.
then we got to
conversation. Welcome
then
to
they
the
got to
conversation.
talking about
And then we can play about it afterwards.
Oh, but he right though. They are out there, man.
They out there. Don't get me wrong.
They out there.
Then they got to go on and on about whether or not I had to referee these two. You know how it is being wedged between these two.
Yeah.
Then I had to referee these two because they going back and forth about whether or not bros come before hoes.
That's not what we said. Now, see,
in the context, it was like if you got a homeboy and your homeboy treats his girl like trash, should you continue to be friends with your homeboy or do you cut him off because of his behavior?
That's not how the conversation went. The conversation was just because your homeboy's relationship doesn't work out, do you have to listen to the girl's point of view all the time? It's women holding men accountable for other men's actions. That was the topic. You just taking it automatically to the, well, he's an abusive, cheating, manipulative son of a bitch. No, those do exist, but that's not who we're talking about. And that's not what I was talking about.
Damn. This is juicy.
I can read your lips, exclusive.
Good, because I put my gloss on.
Oh, you put your gloves on.
I got the gloves.
Got the gloves on tonight.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's facts.
Hey, Eric. When you get settled, man, I wanna hear that poem that you did, the one with the Wi-Fi pending. I wanna hear you spit that for me.
Oh, you wanna hear that one? Okay, yeah.
When you get comfortable, man, I wanna hear.
Yeah, I can hit y'all with that one. But let's get back to these deadbeat moms.
No, you didn't swerve it.
First off, I want to ask this question: what the hell is wrong with them? What's wrong with them? Like, who raised these women? Like, what's going on with them?
Well, I'm gonna tell you from my perspective. And I'm not gonna call no names.
Definition of a deadbeat mom first before y'all get into it. What's the definition of a deadbeat mom before you just hop into it?
I like that.
Well, I'm gonna give examples.
That's fine.
If you are at home, if you are a mother and you're at home with your kids all day, and you put them in the living room and you give them tablets and phones and just close the door for hours at a time, you're a deadbeat mother.
Mm-hmm.
If there's more alcohol coming out of your breast than milk, you are a deadbeat mom.
If your child support check go towards Mei-Ling, shout out to Mei-Ling and them, then you're a deadbeat mom.
If you have the wrong man on child support because you don't know who the father is, you a deadbeat mom.
Don.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Y'all got that. Y'all in
If
that
you
realm.
have to ask yourself, if you're a deadbeat mom, more than likely you probably falling somewhere in that category.
Mm-hmm.
Because moms that put in that work, they know what they do, and there's no question about how they love their kids.
I beg to differ slightly, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, if the woman is constantly looking outside of the household for validation that she's a good mother, she's probably not a good mother.
I can understand that.
Or if she her kids as weapons against the father, deadbeat mom.
Talk to him,
True.
Don.
Very true. There you go, Don. Come on in with the clutch.
That's one for me. That's the one for me. If she used the children as pawns in a game for her benefit, deadbeat mom.
Now, I have questions since I am the mother in the group at the moment. Well, even once the other person comes back, I'm the mom here.
I got answers.
I have questioned my motherhood because I didn't know what I was doing. Or I thought that I was doing my best, but I feel like my children made decisions outside of what I thought I was doing to raise them in the most kind of perfect way. Again, going back to the from mother. And one of my daughters had struggled with mental health. And I mean, she tells her own testimony, but one of my daughters struggled with mental health to the point where she had tried to commit suicide after a domestic violence, toxic relationship. And so she had to spend a couple of days in a psychiatric facility. And I feel like one of the scariest questions I've ever had to ask my child sitting across from her at that table is, was there something that I did that put you here?
Yeah.
Where did I contribute or where did I lack? Do you feel like any of this is me? And equally had to be prepared for her to say, oh yeah, it was that time that you beat me outside in front of all my friends. It was that time that I came to you, you know, fortunately, we didn't have to have that conversation. It literally came down to her saying, well, after I talked to my counselor, my mental health issues are with my father and my temper comes from you. So I had to be prepared to not only hear her response, but then how was I even going to react according to that response? That was the scary. I've been asked a lot of questions, and I have asked a lot of questions and heard a lot. I've even swallowed being fired before, better than the anticipation that came with whatever she was going to answer behind that question.
Yeah.
But I did question it.
Yeah, I think every good mother has had moments where she's navigated to, where she's questioned whether or not she make the right decision. Did she handle that the correct way? Did she not do the right things or say the right things when she should have? I think that every good mother has those moments, and I think that that's a level of self-reflection that every good mother does, because they identify with where their kids are, especially as they grow up, and then they see that there are things that they probably didn't teach them, but did I do enough to prevent it? And those are things that a good mother would ask themselves, but they wouldn't weigh it against everything that they've done for their child, because they identify that I have been a good mother, but maybe I could have been better. Maybe I could have done things a little bit differently. And it's okay for you to ask yourself that. The narrative that I'm deriving to would be the group of women who cannot identify with the things that they've done compared to what a good woman would do for their kids. And I think that the problem that exists today is that there are women who were raised by other women who didn't care, and that's all they know. So now they're raising other kids, and that's all they know is to raise them in a fashion for which they show that they don't care. And they let them do whatever they want to do, and then as they get grown, instead of being their mother, they're their friend.
Well, see, it goes back to this. So, like you said, let them do whatever they want to do. It's the lack of accountability. It's these women are raising these daughters, blaming the fathers for their absence, and the father does have a part to play in that. But how many of these women are having children with men they know are not going to be a part of these children's lives? How many women are having children knowing they're going to be single mothers and then put all the blame on the father? The women are not holding themselves accountable initially and then passing that on generation after generation, that it's the man's fault. But as we all know, in America, men have zero productive rights.
And that's facts. That's facts, Phin. Zero. I think that's facts.
I don't think that some women, we can't hear you, TK. I don't think that some women consider the what if I get pregnant in this situation. They are pleasing themselves. They are fulfilling, for lack of a better term, an orgasm. And then, oh, this is a quick fix to a temporary feeling, but you never think about, suppose this then becomes an 18 to 21-year-old situationship.
Okay, but then what I'm saying about that is that you have options. Even if you get pregnant, there are options that you have to
absolutely. But some women feel as though, like you said, using your children as game pieces. Some women will go through it because they think that it holds the man in place, when really a child is not glue.
No, a child is an income for a lot of these women. A lot of these women use children just as a source of income.
Correct.
I think that this is a us problem. I think that both men and women bear responsibility in the conditions of relationship that exist today. Why? Because the relationship between a man and a woman was already previously defined, and now we navigate to the year of 2023, and there's so many different variations of what a relationship should be and what that's supposed to look like between a man and a woman. And I think that it's important for us as individuals to identify with who we are before we commit to trying to be something for someone else. And I think that there are a lot of lost people who don't know who they are, involving themselves in relations with other people, and it turns out to be something traumatic.
I'm gonna say, whose side are you on, Eric? Whose side are you on? Huh?
I'm on the Lord's
side. Look at look.
Whose side are you on? Didn't the Lord say it better be hot or cold? If it is lukewarm, I will spew you out of my mouth. Didn't the Lord say that? You gotta pick a side.
Pick a side, G.
I'm on the Lord's side. I'm leaning on the Lord's side.
I actually agree with you, Eric. I do think it is both people being responsible and emotionally and mature enough to be in a relationship, but that is not the topic of the conversation. We are at these women's throats tonight.
Pause.
Well, I'm gonna play a little bit of devil advocate because I like what Eric was saying about understanding your role in your relations with other people. So my thing with that, to add to that, is like women, I just feel like women don't value men anymore. Like as in a relationship, they don't value that male role and what the male role is supposed to do in a relationship. Whether it's from like if you have a child with that person, or if you're just trying to like get to a point where you're gonna get married to that person, people aren't even valuing marriage anymore. So it's just like, do women really understand their role in a relationship with a man? I feel like that's getting to a point where it's getting conflicted. Like we're becoming more masculine, and we're not playing a woman's role and letting the man be a man.
Well, see, I would disagree on the masculine part. I don't think women are being more masculine. I just think women are less involved in a relationship, which I don't think has anything to do with masculinity or femininity. I just think it's maturity. And so I see personally is I see a lot of these women saying, I'll wait until after I graduate college. I'll wait till after this. I'm going to wait. And then, next thing you know, they're 35, 36, 37 years old before they even start attempting to try to take a relationship serious. So they've lived half their expected life expectancy, and that they're just now trying to start to put in the work and get to know what a man wants and figure out how a relationship's going to work. And it's like you already kind of late to the party.
But the reason why I think that is because we're like what men are normally go for and not attractive, but they pursue is like money, power, and stature and things like that. And now we as women, we're chasing the same thing as well. Not saying that we're not entitled to, and we shouldn't go for those things, but I feel like it's been switched as far as for women. We're not valuing family and that household kind of thing that women usually go for. Now we're going for the money and the power and the stature before we go have a family, and then now it's backwards, because by the time we get it
done. Not to interrupt you, but done. Do you know why is that?
Enlighten me.
Because men have put women in this position.
Oh my God! Somebody mute TK.
We have to speak. We got to speak the truth about it, because men are supposed to be leaders, right? So when we get into relationships, especially have kids by a woman, it's okay for the man to walk away and leave the woman to do everything that she possibly can do to raise these kids on her own. See, men, they can jump out the picture.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't. A man in America cannot sign away his rights. A man in America will be held accountable and still have to pay child support and still have to be financially responsible. And man cannot walk away. A woman can give her kid up for adoption.
He can walk away.
We can't.
There's consequences for his actions, but they don't stop him from walking away. How many families out there are single parent homes? The man that can walk completely away, and the craziest thing about it, a man can walk away from his own family and get with another woman and raise their family like his. Like that's the most craziest thing to me that I've ever heard of. It's men taking away from, turning their back on their families and walking away to put these women in a situation where they have to be man and woman. They have to tighten up. Like,
if a woman had a baby with a man that she knew wasn't going to be with her, she's taking that baby into her next relationship. And then another man steps up and helps that raise a baby. And then she has a baby by that man. And then that doesn't work out. And then she takes two babies by two different men into the next relationship. When are you holding a woman accountable, TK?
When I'm going to hold the man accountable for stepping up and taking care of his family? When is that going to play a part? Because that have to happen first. It was his child. Take responsibility.
How many of those men said, "I don't want that baby. I want you to get an abortion"? And the woman said,
"Stuck his dick in her."
Huh?
He should have stuck his dick in her. All right.
So you agree that men should not have reproductive rights or a say so in it at all? Men need to practice. No, men need to practice abstinence, but women can get away with anything in a sexual relationship and procreation and not be held accountable, because it's a man's fault for having sex with the woman, even though the woman was a participant.
Okay, first of all, what is the first action?
The first action is if I could get pregnant, the responsibility is on me more than the other person, because I'm the one that's going to be pregnant.
No, what? Are you?
Yes. Just like
I think it's mutual on that.
No, okay, but hear me out, and let me explain why.
What world are you living in?
No, let me explain why. And this doesn't have to apply to everybody. I'm speaking for me. If I could get pregnant.
Okay, I had to mute him because like we not doing that.
Let him talk. Your pull-out game is weak.
Look,
it's our fault that your pull-out game weak.
Look, we're not doing that. Men have to have a standard. Right now, you telling me how to have sex with women and turn their back on their kids. Like what? You saying that they have that right to? If they tell the women, "Oh, I don't want to have kids," are you telling me that that's cool? Please let me know. Like now you unmuted, Phin. Like, tell me if that's cool. You say if a man tells a woman, "I don't want no kids," and still get her pregnant, well, I told you I didn't want no kids, so I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's cool.
Yeah, because I know plenty of women that will say, "Hold on, let me finish a conversation for everybody. Drops their jaws." I know plenty of women that will tell men they're on birth control and then get pregnant without the man's consent. That happens a lot.
Happened to me.
I know plenty of men that do want to have the child, and the woman gets the abortion anyways. I know plenty of it. It's happened to me. I've had a girl had 2 abortions against my will, and we were in a long-term relationship. So don't tell me it's just about that. What I was saying earlier, I was saying if I could get pregnant, knowing I can get pregnant, I am going to take more accountability for my actions because I'm going to be the one growing the baby and having to provide for the baby potentially by myself. And I'm talking about for me. I'm not saying this has to apply to everybody else. I'm saying if it was me, I would do it in a better way because I wouldn't want the outcome being negative. I would prepare for it.
I'm gonna ask you this question: who determined the sex of the baby?
Who determines?
Yeah, who
The
determines?
Lord,
Who determines the sex of the child?
God?
What are you talking about?
The male?
Does God do that? I don't know how that works.
The chromosome? Is that what you asking?
Oh, there you go. There is
Male.
science.
Let's get into some science.
You talking about the chromosome factor?
Biology. Let's get into some biology.
If we're getting into biology, all babies start out as female until the male genitalia pushes through. So every fucking child in the womb starts out as a female until it fully develops and the genitalia pushes outwards into a penis.
So who determines the sex of the child?
Nobody.
How you mean? No, if it went for the male, it wouldn't be no male.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the male, there wouldn't be no female either. TK, women cannot self reproduce yet.
Okay,
it takes both.
So what comes first?
Women are not frogs. TK, is that what you're suggesting? Women are amphibians. TK, is that what you're saying? Are you okay, TK? Are you all right? You're saying women are frogs?
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I am entertained.
I'm very.
Are you not entertained?
I am entertained.
Do you not see what y'all leave me with on Fridays?
I'm so sorry.
Listen.
You know I got your back.
What's wrong with what's going on right here? Part of the reason. I'm just gonna be honest. You're part of the reason why some of these men are bullshit ass men because they have that same thinking that you have. Like, no, that's not. If you have a seed, you take care of it. You don't turn your back.
I agree.
I don't care if you say you didn't want that child or not. You stuck your penis in that vagina.
The woman accepted that penis into her vagina. And then the woman took 9 months to grow that seed into a child and then gave birth to that child. And then whatever the circumstances may be, there may be the man walked out, or it may be that she wasn't ready for a relationship, or it could be any type of thing. When we're speaking in generalities, what I'm saying is that the men have no reproductive rights. The women do. So the accountability for being a single parent, which should be held to a higher standard of the person who has the rights to do something the fuck about it.
I like this comment over here. I don't know. It only says Facebook user, but it says if you give her sperm, you're giving consent. I like that.
Oh,
I like that. Because if you didn't pull out, you didn't strap up. So what you basically saying is, if I say, hey, just raw dog me, I'm safe. You trust that.
No, because you know why I call bullshit on that? And I will say this bullshit on that because consent can stop at any time. I can be inside of a woman. I can be two strokes away from busting a nut and she can say, no, stop. And if I don't, that's rape.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that consent can stop at any point.
Correct. But if you went through the then you started the cycle of pregnancy.
You can get pregnant off a prenut. You don't have to bust a nut to get pregnant.
And I'm not trying to be funny, but if you prenut on the side of my lip, I'm not getting pregnant. You had to be at the pregnancy corner in order to start the pregnancy cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So just let me put the head in is no longer safe mechanism.
Right.
Now, unless I said, hey, bust one right here and I spit it in a turkey baster, and after you leave, I go and do some sneaky type shit. Other than that, we was in it to win it together, my guy.
You still didn't protect yourself as
So this is what I'm just saying. What I just said, what I just literally said was, if I was the one that could get pregnant, I would take the precautions, because I knew that the accountability should be higher on me because I have reproductive rights. And then all the comments I'm seeing are, well, you should have protected yourself if you're the man. You made that choice as the man. But nobody's saying, yeah, the women actually did too. Nobody's saying that she took that chance. She gave that consent. She had that sperm put in her. She also said, come inside me. She also said, whatever happens, happens. She grew the baby, had the baby, knowing the relationship wouldn't work out.
Okay, yeah, y'all are saying there are some women who do that. Some women use a coochie as a Venus flytrap.
Look, April said, y'all better be glad she had company. She wanted to come up and get
the turkey baster, Brandon.
Come get some of this smoke, April.
That turkey baster stuff is so disgusting. At the
squash, correct? Because what I'm not finished to do is
it goes way further than that. It goes way further than that. I know women who drug men and get men drunk. There are cases of women having sex with dead bodies and getting pregnant with men after the fact that they're dead. There are all kinds of crazy instances where women get pregnant, taking advantage of men, and then yet everybody's holding the men accountable to a higher standard than they are the woman that gets pregnant in the first place. Okay,
so then let me interject this right quick. So my youngest daughter, and I know I always got that, and I'm not saying that this is it's my situation. So when I got pregnant with my youngest daughter, I was actually living in a domestic violence shelter at the time. I left my husband, whatever, right? I came home because we were trying to work out some things. So I was like, yeah, I'm ready to get this divorce. I'm gone. And I came home on one of those weekend breaks. And we were doing what married people do, or unmarried. I don't give a crap. We was getting it. And I remember when we got to the end of the thing, he literally leaned down and said, I'm going to get you pregnant so you can come back home. And there came my third daughter. That was not us consenting. That was not me, any of that. That was him knowing that I was this close to being out that door, and him saying to me, I'm going to get you pregnant so you can come home.
How is that not consenting when you literally just told me if a man has sex without protection, that's him giving his consent?
No. I'm saying to get pregnant. That was on purpose for him.
No, you literally just told me that if a man has sex with a woman unprotected, he is giving his consent to have a child. You
Correct.
Said that.
I'm talking about for me.
You had consensual sex, unprotected. That's giving your consent to have a child. How are you having a double standard here?
That's putting me in the position to get pregnant. But what I was not, but the same way that we had been having sex prior, and he was pulling out, or whatever was our grand finale. At that particular moment, he decided pulling out ain't no option, because I feel like once I get you pregnant, you're going to come home.
Oh, so you were under the impression that he wasn't going to, finish.
Yeah, no. When we were, I thought it was just a weekend, we bing, bang, boom. It wasn't let's sit down and think about this and have this baby.
Am I taking crazy pills here?
No, because I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just telling you about this particular case scenario.
But what I'm saying,
all the times prior to that, when we were bumping bunnies, he never said, "Oh, I'm trying to get you pregnant on purpose." My first two kids was definitely not accident, but they weren't planned.
Why I think I'm taking crazy pills here is because I gave the example, if a man thinks that a woman is on birth control, you said that doesn't matter. He gives his consent if he has unprotected sex.
Correct.
So you had unprotected sex, so you gave consent to get pregnant.
I'm not saying that I did not. What I am saying is it was on purpose at that moment. That's the only part I'm taking out. I mean, the only part I'm extracting from that is that at that particular moment, it wasn't, oh shit, I'm trying not to get you pregnant or let me pull out, as it had been prior. It was, let me lean over and tell you, I'm not getting ready to pull out. I'm about to bust this nut and I hope you get pregnant. That's the only part I'm extracting out of the story.
But that's you giving consent, though.
How was that giving me consent at that moment? Because I would have said, oh no, pull out.
Because it was unprotected.
Because you
it was unprotected. Now, if it had happened, but here's the thing: if it had happened because it was like, oh shit, let me pull out, and I got pregnant anyway, that's one scenario.
No,
but it's not. You planned that.
No,
on me for me.
What you're doing is you're trying to separate the consequences from the actions. You had done the same actions many times, and you didn't get the consequence. Just because you don't get caught drinking and driving doesn't mean it's not illegal or dangerous.
No doubt.
All it takes is one time to get caught, and it can fuck your life up. That's all that happened. You made the choice, you made the decision, and you suffered the consequence of it. That's your fault.
But the moral of the story is, and again, the only part that I'm extracting is that at that particular moment, that was not oh, well, let's get pregnant. Now, I know people who plan pregnancies, all of that. I'm just saying in that moment, if I had gotten pregnant and it was not planned per se, then it would have been like, oh, okay, well, me and my husband did our thing. We got pregnant, so be it. At that particular moment, it was in his mind that he was not going to pull out before conception, before plotting on conception. Now, yeah, when I opened my legs, I also, if I keep practicing, I'm going to get in the game, right? So I was fully aware that it was an option. But what I was also, it's like taking birth control. It's 99%, but that 1%, you might get pregnant. You know what I mean? Condoms break. In this case scenario, it was not something that I went into knowing that he was going to say, oh, by the way, I'm getting ready to do this on purpose. I hope you get pregnant.
Okay, Dawn, I need your help on this.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Because tell me if I'm hearing this wrong. Speaking of the Dawn, tell me if I'm hearing this wrong. What I heard her and TK say, if a man is willing to put his penis inside a woman, he gives consent to whatever the fuck the outcome is. That's what they said, right? And now she's saying, I didn't give this consent because it didn't happen like we normally did it. And then at the last minute, he threw a monkey wrench into the wheel, and it got caught up in the spokes and flipped us over the handlebars, right? And so what she's doing is she's double standards, right? Is that what I'm hearing, or am I tripping?
Yeah, I think so. Just because, and I love you, man. I love you, but I just
it's all good.
Scenario, it's just like with him having unprotected sex and you also having unprotected sex. Yes, that's both consensual in that moment. Of the outcome of what could happen in that situation. Now he did, even though it was like not your plan, it was his plan to do it. But when with being unprotected in the first place, it does leave that open. So like you said, you even knew it's a possibility at any moment. Like when you have unprotected sex, it's at any moment something can happen. It's a possibility to get pregnant. So it's like you had that awareness. So when it was done, I'm pretty sure it wasn't as I'm just gonna ask, did you feel like it was like unconsensual then, or did you feel like, okay, I felt safe enough with him anyway to go unprotected, and then if I had a baby with him, it's all right anyway, because I've had children before.
It wasn't, and again, I'm only extracting one part of that entire story. So I understand that it was consensual. I went over there. I opened my legs. I allowed the act to go on. The only difference is, even if in that moment I would have said, hey, I don't consent. Kind of like what Phin just said. You can be consenting the whole entire time, but the moment you say no, it's rape. And I'm not comparing this to rape, but I'm just saying in that case scenario, if he'd have said, hey, I'm getting ready to get you pregnant, and I had the opportunity to say no, pull out, I would have. However, he did not say it until he was in the mix of busting that nut. So there was no, oh no, I don't want to get pregnant, but if we do, so be it. All I'm saying is in that particular moment, it was a decision that was being made on his part to do it purposefully.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I'm saying.
To it, but we all gotta know. Well, as women, we have to be cautious as to that being happening to us. We have to
no doubt.
Because
it happened before, which is how we had the first
children with that person. If you don't want to have a child with that person, just go in, protect it. If you do have it in the back of mind, yet you don't mind having a child with that person, but maybe you didn't plan, you wasn't ready at that moment. But if it did happen, you're okay with it being that person, then you can be unprotected. You know what I'm saying? Like, have that awareness. But if you don't want to have a child with that person, don't even open the door for it.
No doubt, I agree.
Yeah.
And in that moment, my mind was just, oh, okay, we doing our little rendezvous. We doing our weekend poetry slam or whatever. We've done it many weekends before, and I've been able to come out of that thing unscathed. This is my husband, so why strap up? It's my husband. Yeah, but at the moment that he was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm getting ready to do
I'm gonna still say that's crazy though. That's crazy, but I do agree with Phin. It just didn't add up to the consistency of what we were talking about earlier. But I agree with you. That was purposeful, and that was not what you wanted at the moment.
Just that portion, of the case scenario. Just that extracted portion.
I mean, it's like like they say, it's the same thing switched around.
Because I feel like, and this is the reason why I say that, because I feel like in that moment or in that case scenario, okay, we both consent. Okay, now I'm pregnant. Okay, now you feel like, oh, that's going to make you come back to this situation. It's going to make you come back into the household. When technically speaking, that's not what it was. But you felt like, okay, if I get you pregnant, it's going to make you return back to a situation that you might have been mentally convinced to get out of. And that is where I had a problem with that. It was the mentality under which it happened.
You mean somebody kind of used a child as a way of manipulation in a relationship?
Correct. Wow. That's what I'm saying.
Never fucking heard that before.
I didn't say I disagree with you, Phin. I'm just telling you what that case scenario was.
So messed up.
Now, did it work? Obviously not. But
did you go back? Did you go back home with him?
Yes, I did for a short period of time, and then I left like literally not too long after.
So it did work. It did work.
But that was under a whole nother case scenario too. I was in the church then. So it was sinful for me to be pregnant by my husband and not go home.
For a second, I have to bring someone up real quick. They graced us with stage presence. I have to bring up Miss April.
Hey, Miss April.
Oh.
Hello.
Get into it, Miss April.
Welcome. Nice to meet you, Dawn.
Nice to meet you.
Phin, I'm coming for you, brother.
Not too much on the human.
Not too much on the human.
Not too much on the human.
Phin, real quick though. Thank you for bringing me on, TK. Real quick, Phin, I want you to describe the definition of consent, since that's your favorite word tonight.
Actually, I got into consent because you brought it up, I believe. You put it in the comments, so that's the only reason that I even said anything about consent.
Okay, well, do you mind providing a definition for consent?
Consent to me would be when both parties are agreeing and willing to participate in the activity.
All right. So have you ever read the second and third definitions for that word before, or that's just kind of where you're going with it?
I'm sure I have. I don't have the definition, all the different definitions memorized.
I'm scared for this.
All right. I just want to ask a question since, I was trying to hop out of here because I didn't want to have a
Well,
be
as a
a part of another single mother podcast like the other 20 million ones on YouTube right now. But since consent was brought up by me and things like that, I'm wondering what your idea of is consent by deception.
I think I,
So
I think that is uh, a form of manipulation and lies. I think is always wrong, and I think that goes towards either party, man or woman. I think if a woman lies to get pregnant or a man lies to get a woman pregnant, I think that is very wrong, and I do not agree with that. But if your definition of consent that you posted in the comments was if you take the risk, you're giving your consent, then that's what I'm going off of. So if we're
no,
going off,
that wasn't a definition. That was just if you're handing over your sperm, aka a blank check, to a woman, she can do whatever she wants with that blank check.
no, because if I hand you my debit card and you drain my bank account, that is still theft.
But guess what? When you call your bank, I just went through this last week. When you call your bank and they ask you, sir, did anybody have access? Did you provide anyone access to your card? They're going to hold you accountable, sir. This literally just happened to me a week ago. I'm waiting for my new card in the mail as we speak.
Right, but that's still theft. It doesn't matter what the bank outcome of it is. If somebody lies,
It's theft to you. But
That
if you
sounds like
provide
contradiction.
your card and your PIN number to someone and they take you for all your little, whatever money that you make,
I got
then
two.
that's literally gonna be consent based on that bank and the documents that you signed opening that account.
No, that's not. If I
Yes,
say,
it, sir,
if,
sir.
if hold on, if I say, here's my debit card, you can use $20 to get you something to
You
eat.
better put it in writing because them bank folk ain't gonna care.
Like I said, we're not talking about what the bank outcome is. We're talking about the action that the person is doing. If the
All right.
person action is stealing and taking more than what they said they were, yes, you have legal grounds to go and take them to court. What the bank outcome is not legality. That doesn't constitute whether it's theft or not. Because in the bank's eyes, they just don't want to pay you. But the court will make that person pay you back for what they stole. So it is
That
still theft because there was an agreement on that this was how much you were supposed to take, but you took this much. Just like if you walk into Walmart and you purchase the Snickers bar, but then you put three other things in your pocket, you're stealing.
all right, let me segue. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to take over, but I'm gonna segue into what my point was originally. Consent by deception. This happens before you even get to the bedroom. What if this man has promised something to this woman, said that, oh yeah, I'm trying to get married. I'm trying to be in a relationship, blah, 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 such and so forth. Insert whatever lie you want. And then this woman then consents to having sex with him because of the things that he told her. Would you qualify that as rape by deception?
No.
Mhm.
The example that you just gave, no, I would not. And the reason why I would not is because I can tell you that any relationship I get in my future, I have the intent of getting in married. I have the intent of building a lifelong relationship. That doesn't always mean it'll work out. And so just because I tell you that is my intention doesn't mean that is actuality and reality of the situation. So it
Well,
doesn't.
Finn, you're talking about yourself being an honest human. Thank you for doing that. But that's not what we go through most of the time as women,
Well,
especially when it comes to giving our body away to
okay, so
someone that we were expecting to take us seriously.
then April, I would ask you this: why are you having children by somebody that you don't know if they're serious about what they're saying? Why are you getting
But I'm not talking about a child right now.
okay? So why are you having sex with somebody that you don't know if they're even being honest with you? Why take that chance?
So you're telling me right now in this moment that no matter what a man says, don't take his word for it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking
That's
you specific questions. I'm asking you if you think that somebody is being deceptive or something
Well,
like
if I was thinking he was being deceptive, I wouldn't have opened my legs, correct? Because I thought he was going to give me something that I was desiring, which we had a conversation about.
okay. And then in my follow-up question to that was, how much of that relationship not working out is your fault?
Mhm.
It could be all my fault.
Okay, then
But
that then
but again, I'm talking about before we get to having kids, before we get to all of this. So you trying to fast forward into the future. I'm still on consent right now.
Mhm.
okay. Well, then re-ask your question. Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
If somebody like if okay, say for instance you, Finn, or anybody on the panel was celibate until they were in a committed relationship. That was your dedication, correct? So, and you meet someone and they, oh, baby, you know what? This is exactly what I want to. I want to be in a relationship too. They go through all the things to get you to be comfortable enough to let your guard down. And then, boom, you have sex with them, trusting what they say. Is that or is that not rape by deception?
It's not rape, but I do think it is. I
But you do know deception is in the definition of rape, right?
not necessarily. There is a form of deception, rape, but that is not.
Which one is that?
It's where you specifically lie and say certain things in certain moments to get certain aspects or
Which is
certain.
exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a very broad thing. So I mean, when you say
I don't
that,
know. Deception seems pretty clear.
okay, well then I would say like. Why I'm saying it's a broad thing. If a man tells you that he makes $30 an hour to sleep with you, and that's what did it for you, I'm not calling that rape. I'm not agreeing that that's rape.
This was literally an episode on Law and Order, y'all. I just want to put that out there.
Mhm.
But I mean, I would not. If a man says he is the oldest child of 15 children, and knows you come from a big family, and that's one of the reasons you kind of feel familiar with him is because he said he's also from a big family. I don't consider that rape. Is it poor character?
But is he telling her that to sleep with her, or is he just telling her that to relate and make her feel comfortable?
I can't speak. I can't speak for that man. But
Exactly.
okay, but that's why you do not see things like that prosecuted because it is so hard to find out the intentions of the person. And so just because somebody lied about something doesn't necessarily mean it's malicious. Doesn't necessarily mean it's rape.
How is a lie not malicious, sir?
How is you've never lied to somebody out of
To sleep, we're talking about to sleep with someone.
huh? That's what I'm saying is okay. If you just want to say if people use deception just to sleep with somebody, if that's the only reason, then okay, then yes, that's wrong.
Hold on, we the Don. Go ahead, the Don got to say something. Go ahead, the Don.
I just wanted to just slide a little bit through there. So I do like the curveball that April is bringing to the panel about deception with consent, because that is something we do need to look out for, even as women. I mean, men too. I'm not going to say for either party which one is more detrimental, but for women for sure, you do need to look out for deception in consent, because we do come in with that idea of love, marriage, and all the above. And then if a guy is saying like, "Hey, I will give you that," it does open us up for that kind of relationship. But then I do have to bring back the conversation at hand of consent to unprotected sex that we were talking about earlier, because even when because we have to define what stage of the relationship we're at, because if we're talking about I just met this person and he's selling me a fantasy, yes, I'm going to open up through to the fantasy, but do I still have the responsibility, which I do believe you should have the responsibility of making sure you're not having a child with someone you don't desire to have a child with. So even though I'm opening up to his fantasy, I do need to be protecting myself in that interaction, because we're just now meeting. I'm just not getting to know you. I have to get to know or understand if you're deceiving me, and if you're being genuine, and if you are actually looking for what I'm looking for in a relationship. So I did want to kind of slide that in and just make sure we're on the same page with that.
I agree with that, Don. I agree with that.
Say this, and me being transparent as I am, because you know I am just the transparency. Uh, I was that guy. Deception. I would sell you sand to a beach. I would sell you water to an ocean to get that motion. What are you talking about?
I
Deception?
cannot. I
What?
cannot.
I had so many disguises. I was like MacGyver. Look, I'm telling you, like
guy really use disguises, my guy.
well, whatever, you know,
Culture reference.
be the person to bust the bubble, like, but anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I was the person that talked to, like, with me, I can tell what a chick is in the first 3 or 4 minutes of me talking to her. What type of personality she is, what type of swag, what type of lingo she likes to hear, whatever. I just match their energy. Boom. I can look now, April. I understand that tremendously because you can talk your way into a woman vagina easily because they want to be loved, they want to be cherished, they want all the good shit. Because if you show them all the good shit, they gonna soak that shit up. You listen to them, you rub their feet, you know, you tell them they beautiful every day, you know, you bring them lunch, like here, baby, here, I'm let me fill up your gas tank, whatever. You just be nice and like make it all seem all magical, and all that shit can be a lie. That's something that you do for your own entertainment.
Yeah, and a lot of single mothers end up single mothers because of things that they've been sold. I'm not saying that they can't be accountable for, not seeing red flags because apparently we're supposed to see through these lies somehow. I haven't figured out why. Ladies, if you have, let me know. But
Uh, I
but
don't.
but
I'm not saying.
a lot of women have fell into that. It's not a trap, but they have had to be accountable with raising their children alone, because they was believing too much stuff.
Look, I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you, women can buy lemons.
CK, let me say something to that real quick. I want to clarify that I'm not saying that it's on the person that's being deceived to be the one that sees it.
Right.
The one that's being deceptive is at fault, 100%. What I'm saying is you have the option to not get pregnant, and you have the option to not have that child if you do get pregnant. That's what I'm saying. The accountability comes on the choices you make in the situation to either get pregnant or to keep the child. That's where I'm saying your accountability comes in. And then I would also like to ask you this question because rape is a strong word, and it gets used on men a lot when I don't think it's applicable to situations. And so I would ask you this: if a man's talking to a woman and he's trying to be in that relationship with that woman, and he comes to this woman like, I'm in it 100% monogamous. She's like, yes, I want that relationship, I want that marriage, I want that family, I want the monogamy, and yet she's got side dudes. Is that deception rape if she is also fucking other people while she's having sex with him and potentially giving him diseases or getting pregnant by somebody else and then trying to hold on to the relationship possibly by saying he's the father of a child that's not his?
Mm.
That's good.
Would
Wait,
that
was
would that
that?
be considered rape by deception?
Yeah,
By
you're
deception.
you're asking if the woman was being dishonest with the man, and they both agreed on being monogamous. That and this, I'm assuming this is before they initially had sex, because these days people are having sex and getting into relationships later. So you're assuming you're basing this question on that they hadn't had sex before they decided to be in a monogamous relationship, correct?
It doesn't matter. Once she
It
agreed to be
it does matter. It does matter.
well, I'll ask for you to clarify why it does matter, but I would say once she agreed to be monogamous, and if she's not, is that a form of rape by deceit?
Gotta do
I guess.
out there, the good brothers. We gotta do this for the good brothers.
Yeah. If he would not, and
Brothers
I'm
don't
out, and the reason why I said it would matter because if they didn't have this agreement before they had sex, then you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of puts a gray area in there. But if his only way to having sex with her was her agreeing to be monogamous, then yes, I would qualify that as rape by deception.
All right, so are you telling me once you've already had sex, it's not possible to rape that person?
No, that's not what I said. In this situation that you're saying, in this scenario that you're talking about, I was asking you if they had already been sexually active before this and then things changed afterwards. I was asking you a question.
Right.
Mm.
And then my
And
follow.
you chose to not answer that. But that's fine. I get it. And
I did.
I gave you my answer.
Well, I did answer that. I did answer that. I said that um, in the scenario that I'm talking about, to me, it's not important whether they did or didn't. And then I asked you.
That's refusing to answer because you said it's not important.
Okay, so in the scenario that I was saying, it wasn't important. But in talking with you now about it, I would say, sure, they had sex before, but then she agreed to be monogamous, and then she wasn't.
She was being deceptive.
Is that deceptive rape?
I already said yes. I'll say it again. I'll say it a third time if you need me to.
Hold up. Is they married or they just dating?
they dating.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, they're saying.
Dating.
And
So
apparently,
you just dating. So you can sleep whatever you want until you make it exclusive. Shout out to exclusive.
Shout
But
out to
yeah,
exclusive.
if
hey,
exclusive, then it's something different. But if y'all just dating, you're like, nah, what? What are you talking about?
But
But
in
it's
the,
getting
in the
heavy
woman
in here,
scenario,
eh?
we was not married. Let's be for real. In the woman scenario, we was not married before I opened up and had a baby and all that other stuff.
Look,
He was married then, so
It's
let's
getting
just
heavy in here.
not married.
look, at the end of the day, men have to step up. Finn, you want to defend these busters, these open, down, dirty men? What are you talking about? Like, I'm not understanding why you're so against for
I
the
can't take
right.
TK serious.
Like,
I
what are you talking about?
can't.
I
Like,
can't.
Yeah, I mean,
you
TK,
defending the low lives. Are you a
no,
low life? Are you
no.
a low thug?
Let's look at statistics, TK. Let's look
I'm
at
just saying.
statistics. Did you know that in America, 40% of marriages that have children end up being that one of the child is not the husband's child? That
Somebody been on his manosphere.
no, it's not a manosphere. I mean, this is a I'll send a link to you if you like me to, and it's not the
Oh
manosphere.
no, I've heard it 100 times, brother. Keep going. Sorry.
It's the State Department, to where the husband is not the biological father in these
Okay.
relationships, and so the woman lies, gets pregnant by somebody else, and then has another man think the baby is his.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Look, I've been through that. What are you talking about? I've been through that. That's my life story.
Yeah.
I'm like that's my life story. But I mean, hey, at the end of the day,
But April, I just want to say this to you. I'm not against women.
I'm glad. Listen,
TK,
I'm glad that you got into that. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's rewind. Let's back up for a second. Okay,
No, so
look,
April,
now,
I just want to say this, April. I'm not against women. I'm not against men. I'm not against women. I'm a human, and I want people to hold themselves accountable.
Spin the human.
okay, listen.
I want people to hold themselves accountable, so I can see it from a man's perspective and a woman's perspective. I don't have any skin in the game because I don't have any children out there. So I can just say it from my observations of looking at other people interact and how they do it. I can tell that it takes equal accountability on both sexes.
Okay,
Okay, I got that, Finn. And the reason why I hopped on is because you were a little leaning toward the men's side a little bit, and I just want to make sure. Okay, we want to call it equal. Let's do that. But it seems like you're using the option of abortion and morning after pills to give more responsibility to the woman after this man freely gave her a blank check.
No,
So
no,
that's
no, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. Is the woman is the one who can get pregnant. The woman is.
yes,
The
that's
woman
the
is.
way.
And
Yeah.
so if I was a woman, I said if I was a woman and I knew I could get pregnant, I would take more precautions to prevent that than
What
if
about
I'm not
men?
the one who could
If
get
you were
pregnant.
a man,
Hold on.
if you were a man, let's think like a man. If you was a man, hold up. See, you pushing this stuff on the women.
I'm not pushing it. I'm trying to clarify what he's
No, you're not clarifying nothing.
Okay, if you would let me finish, I will.
You're talking in
Like, no, she said I was holding against more towards the men and against the women when I wasn't. All I was saying is you said that if a man has unprotected sex, he gives consent to have a baby, and then we got into the conversation where Exclusive was saying, yeah, but when I had unprotected sex, I didn't give consent. And so it's me saying that it's not equal playing field. You are having a double standards where you're trying to hold men at higher accountability than you're holding yourselves. And I'm saying that's a problem. And in single parent households, you see that a lot where the person who's the single parent is not holding themselves accountable. They're holding the person who's not there accountable.
Sir, with all due respect, I think being alone and struggling and raising a child is a whole heaping helpful of accountability because we're living that every single day. Those women are living that every single day. They wake up, they breathe it, they can't even piss without the baby knocking on the door. So if that ain't accountability to you, without her just saying, "Oh, it was my fault I got pregnant," then I don't know what to say.
No, the accountability is that you saying, yes, it's my fault that I got pregnant. That's accountability. So going through the consequences by yourself and being responsible after the fact is great.
When she could have dropped that baby off at the fire station, you mean, right?
Or not had unprotected sex.
But first of all, you're wrong in your terminology. It's not that she thought that she got pregnant. They got pregnant. I ain't say she got pregnant. They both got pregnant. What are you talking about?
No.
He don't think like that because he's not married today.
The man has no say in that. A man has no say. Men have no reproductive rights in America. I cannot tell a woman she has to get an abortion. I cannot tell a woman I do not want any financial relationship with this baby. I cannot.
But what you can tell a woman is, I'm not having sex with you without a condom because I don't want to be a father.
And single mothers have that same right. And that's all I'm saying. Single mothers could have said, I'm not
but
having
you're
sex.
not even acknowledging the fact that the man has that too. You keep saying single mothers, without saying yes. I have yet to hear you say, yes, if this man did not want a child, he should not have been going raw. I have yet to hear you say that. Your rebuttal every single time is about a woman.
And our reproductive laws have been made by men, have they not?
Mm.
And they just banned some.
No, that part.
So that part is a whole different subject. But no, I did say that both parties play a part in conception. It takes two. I told TK here when he was out here calling women frogs. I said women aren't frogs. They can't reproduce asexually. I told TK, you're a fool, and don't start that bullshit with these women. Women are humans just like men are. And TK's like, no, they're asexually and they can reproduce without men. I'm like, TK, you're an idiot. Stop it. And so I've been saying that it takes both parties to have and make a baby. And
but you've never acknowledged that if a man did not want to have a baby, that he should not be going raw, sir. You've never said that. You still ain't, because you wanna. I see it, bruh.
No, you don't see it. What you're doing?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So what should men? So let me ask you a question. What should men do if they don't want children?
They should not have sex. I've said that. I said abstinence is the only actual way to 100% say that you're not going to have a child. Abstinence is it. I've said that. I've already stated
So
everything.
let me clarify the question. What should a sexually active man do if he doesn't want a baby?
He should go watch TV.
Uh, a, a sexually active man who does not want a baby should have
Pray.
he should have an operation to make sure his semen is not passed on. That is and even that's not 100%, but that is the closest to 100%.
Yeah, I know y'all see this.
That's extreme, baby. That's extreme.
But
Very extreme.
That's next level, right?
But I'm just saying, if you're asking if a man truly does not want a child, that is his option. Now, if he doesn't,
what if he's just not ready? What if he don't want a child with? What if I'm a man and I don't want a child with exclusive? But I want to smash exclusive because she's fine. What should I do?
You should go get a burger.
From where, bro? From where? From where? Now we got to test your burger skills. Where we getting a burger from?
Look, just give me some head and go home or something.
Man, come on.
I'm finna help Phin out. You know what else is deceptive? When we first get with women, they don't tell us that they eat Chipotle and Chick-fil-A every week, and they let us take them to Red Lobster and Olive Garden and don't say nothing.
First of all, if you taking her to Red Lobster and Olive Garden, you already taking an L, bro.
What you like? No.
Oh my God.
First of all, these days Chick-fil-A and Olive Garden about the same price. I don't know where Chick-fil-A you going to, because hello. I've never been to Red Lobster, so I can't speak on that.
You ain't never been to Red Lobster? You ain't never had the cheddar?
I don't want to go to the Captain D's of seafood. No, thank you.
I love some Captain D's.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Ain't Captain D's already seafood?
It's seafood.
It's the type. It's the seasoning, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but to clarify what you're saying, men should wear condoms. Men should make sure the woman is on some type of contraceptive as well. You should take the precautions if you don't want to have the child. It is a man's responsibility also to not get the woman pregnant. If you are two consenting adults having unprotected sex, there is a possibility that you will have a child. Now, what my conversation has been tonight has been, after you get pregnant, the man has no say so. And so that's what I was more clarifying on from the men's perspective, is once a woman is pregnant, a man has no rights to any of that after that. And so that's more why I was covering on the men's side. But I do 100% say, if you do not want to have a child, you do not want to be a father or a mother, don't have unprotected sex. That's it.
That's it. That's got to be the moral of the story.
That sounds good. Hold on, that sounds good.
In circles, because I feel like we stay there.
I'm just saying, just
a long time
going in a circle. But the thing is, what the topic was my poem, and Phin said that we as men shouldn't hold other men accountable for the things they do.
That's not what I said.
That was exactly what you said.
I don't agree with that.
That was exactly what you said, because you said whatever he do in his relationship ain't got nothing to do with me. So if he want to beat, slap, and do all it, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I shouldn't say nothing. That's not my business.
Ooh.
No, what I said was, and we will clarify this right now. What I said was, I do not automatically take the side of the woman. So if a woman says that man,
it's not the woman. It's about men having accountability for what he do. That's you being a stand-up guy and say, look, you shouldn't do that shit. No, go over there and get back with your wife or do whatever. You trying to guide him into the right shit. You telling him, well, like hey, ain't got shit to do with me. Let me turn my back on you. That's exactly what you do. That has nothing to do with women.
what you see, what I'm saying is that if somebody comes up to me and says you shouldn't be friends with him, he beats his wife and he's been accused of some nefarious things, then I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to hang out with
But
that.
what she do though? But what she do? That what you saying is
No,
that you would ask, you would be like, I'm not taking her side. What did she do? Did she burn your grits? Because she might need a slap for that. She burnt the grits. That
no,
what you
that's not
kind
what
of saying a little bit.
I already said this, and I'm gonna say it again to you hard of hearing people. You the ones that are hard of hearing, I'm gonna say this. I do
Just
not hang out with thieves. I do not hang out with serial killers. I do not hang out with pedophiles. I do not hang out with liars. I do not hang out with manipulative people. I hang out and give my energy to good, genuine people. So all that other bullshit you can miss me with. What I'm saying is if a relationship doesn't work out between two people, it doesn't mean that I can't high five the dude just because the girl doesn't like him anymore. That's
No,
what I say.
no, see, and that's where you missed the whole point. It's not about that. It's about integrity. It's about if
I just
listen,
said.
no, listen, my son. Let me teach you some things. Just chill. Listen, as men, if we see another man doing the wrong shit, you see a man, oh, he cheating on his girl, whatever, blase, blase. Of course, yeah, that's none of your business. But as an individual, a person that have integrity, like why you can't go up like, look, what's going on with your marriage? Why you out here doing this? Man, you need to go back home with your wife and kids. Oh, but your standards is, oh, I'm gonna let him be a crash dummy. I ain't gonna say nothing, but he's still gonna be my friend. Listen, and my thing is, I can't be friends with people that, like I said the other day, if your integrity, if you have more integrity for me than you have for a woman that you go home and sleep, kiss, and do all this stuff with, you have more respect for me than you have for your woman at home, then I can't. No, we can't relate. I can't relate with that. Like I can't expect you to have more loyalty for me than you have for your own woman. So no, I'm cool on that. Because if you can't uplift your woman, I expect you to have my back. And this is the woman you tell all your secrets, you tell her you love her, all this other stuff. You know, like, but you quick to say, oh no, we ain't gonna respect that. Nah, I can't do that. Not
You said
not the person
you
who I
said
am.
a whole bunch of words without saying shit. You
But
ain't said nothing. All them words and you ain't said nothing.
because you ain't listening.
You got to speak coherently. Make it make sense.
So what you didn't understand?
What you're saying is a bunch of uh just rhetorical shit. All you're saying is if this, if this, if this. Okay, so what I'm saying is it doesn't always apply. It doesn't always apply. Like I said, like I had the conversation with you the other night in exclusive. I said I know men that are not monogamous that let women know they're not monogamous. And then the women catch feelings and then get upset and then say, oh, he did me dirty. No, he didn't. He did exactly what the fuck he said he was going to do. And I know women that are the same way. I know women that are not monogamous and these men catch feelings and then the woman does something and the men get upset. I know it goes both ways. But what I'm saying I'm not going to do is I'm not going to jump inside somebody's house and tell them how to run the fuck their house. That's what I'm not going to do.
You're still missing the whole point because it has nothing to do with a woman. What I said in that poem has nothing to do with a woman. It's about us holding each other accountable.
Each other. I agree with that. But that's not what your thing said. Your thing said
I say I can't give this nigga a high five, no lie. I can't give that nigga a high five. If he out here fucking around on his wife and his kids and wife at home, I can't give that nigga a high five. You want me to give him a high five because he's stepping out on his family? Are you good? You cool? Because that was the whole conversation was about. Me giving a high five because he doing some fuck shit.
okay.
If you telling me you're the person that's gonna give that person a high five, like, oh man, you out here cheating on your wife? Good job, man. You that person, huh?
No, I'm not. I said I don't do that.
That was about. That was the whole argument about. You say, oh, that ain't none of my business. I'm gonna turn my head.
No, I said that relationship in the household is not my business. That's what I said. That's what I said. And what I said in your poem, the way you worded your poem was, we got to start holding these men more accountable. I'm not going to high five them if she says he's a piece of shit.
No, I never said that. I never said she or nothing.
Shit.
I never said that. I need you to listen more clearly.
If you don't end this live with your poem, then you're not telling the truth. Because in that poem you did, you're saying, you even talk about it in the poem where you talk about women doing men wrong and men doing women wrong, but then you're like, we can't be friends with these men that do this. You can't high five them. We gotta hold them accountable. You can't hold somebody else accountable. You can tell them, like I said, I can give my opinion.
9 out of 10 queens is not you, it's us. The ones that see your homeboys cheating on their chicken, still get these niggas high fives. I can't lie. As men, we need to do way better with the lynch. We need to start reading all these slaves. Why did I say anything about a woman?
That's just the way he interpreted it, I guess.
I didn't say nothing about a woman. It's about us holding each other accountable for stopping the next person doing fuck shit. Hey, no, go back home. Go chill with your wife. Go chill with your kids. You don't need to be out here in the streets. But you said you would turn your back and like, oh, they ain't got nothing to do with me. He's still my friend.
Yeah.
How are you a friend if you're not correcting him? You gonna lead him into a ditch?
No, I already told you I'd give my opinion. I already said I'm not with that. I already said I'd give my opinion, but that's not grounds for me to cut off. Huh?
That's not what you said.
That is what I said. I said that even on the other night. You can go back and look at the last live we did. I said I will give my opinion. I am not okay with that. I am not okay with cheating. I am a monogamous man. You the one that's looking into this polyamory and shit, not me. I'm into monogamy, and
that's
so what I said was I don't have to agree with what everybody does in their life. It's not for me to agree, because I'm not going to agree with everybody. And it's okay for me to disagree on certain things. I know some people that have complete ideological differences than I do, and yet we can still have some common ground. I don't have to isolate myself to an island to hold somebody accountable to a sense of morality that doesn't even fucking exist.
That's not the
we as a society make morality. We decide what's moral in our society. And if I don't agree with it,
Okay, Don. What do you have to say?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Phin. I wouldn't want nobody to mute you, but I just wanted to add, like, I would like to see a society where men hold men accountable and women hold women accountable. Because that kind of communion would make our world, our energies, our lives a little bit better, a whole lot better. Because I mean, like, it kind of bring me back to, I recently rewatched Roots again. That's one of my favorite, like, bodies of work, right? Mm-hmm. And in Roots, it's more than just the whole slavery aspect to it. It was about about Kunta passing on his roots and his moralities and what his culture embodied to his children, and his children holding that and passing that on to their children. So I just feel like if we were able to hold each other accountable as men and women, we'd be able to pass on our roots of good moralities, good positive interactions with humans, and good intentions and things like that. It wouldn't inspire a lot of control like it's kind of doing now, because no one's holding on to their roots. No one's holding on to this, this righteousness. It's kind of going out of whack. So I feel like holding men accountable, because that's the only person that kind of can hold that person accountable, a man. Like, a man's gonna really understand a man. So and then a woman understands a woman. So we can relate on those terms. I feel like it should go that way. Like, if you do see a friend doing something, not saying get in their business, get into their household, but if you have influence or you have an impact on someone, you can say, hey, I think it would be better if you see it this way, or if you were to try to channel your energy this way. Because if we don't, then things are going to go out of control like it's doing now. That's all I'm saying.
Let me say this. Let me ask y'all a question. So I expressed in a couple of my poems where I was married, and my wife at that time, she had a child. I found out like 2 years later that the child wasn't mine. So is it my fault or her fault?
It's your fault, sucker. You should have wore a condom.
Okay. Listen. Okay. And you know what, Phin, you're right. It was my fault. Because you have to understand, if I'm supposed to be the leader, I'm supposed to be doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't doing everything I was supposed to be doing. I was out cheating. I was around dudes that high five me for messing with strippers, and so I was like, "Oh, you pulled you a bad one tonight." I was around those type of niggas. They know I was married. They didn't care. Like, "Oh man, let's get these chicks on the tour bus and stuff like that. Let's bring them back to the spot." I was around those type of niggas. So was I the perfect husband for my wife at that time? No, I wasn't. Did I lie to her about where I was at? Did I come home the next day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon with saying, "Oh, I fell asleep over my partner's house"? So I have to hold myself accountable for, yes, she did a vile act. Yes, she got pregnant when we was married by another dude, but I was sleeping with like a bunch of chicks. I could have got any one of them pregnant. You understand? So is it my fault that she went outside our marriage and slept with someone and got pregnant? Yes, I say it's my fault because
So hold
I,
on, hold on.
listen, because I was supposed to lead and set example. I wasn't the example. I wasn't that husband.
Okay, and if you had led and you weren't,
That's real shit.
now hold on. If you had led and you weren't cheating and she still stepped out and cheated, then
Then
would
that's
it have?
on her. Then that's on her.
So
Then,
why
but
is her stepping out on why is her stepping out and cheating on you your fault, but you stepping out and cheating on her your fault?
because
Why is it all your fault? Why is
okay,
it not? Why is she not have any part in the fuckery of what was your marriage?
because as a man, you're supposed to lead. So if I'm out there cheating and stuff, that's on me. That's not on her. I'm supposed to show leadership. That's not leadership. Me being
Man,
swayed by other women, that's not showing leadership. That's not showing leadership in the household that I was supposed to protect. I wasn't protecting that household. So
man,
yes,
okay.
it's on me. So
I,
then, like I tell y'all all the time, timelines are very important. The smallest thing you can do can affect your whole entire life.
Yeah,
So
but
if I
but
would put her in the right position,
even as a shepherd, my friend, even as a shepherd, a wayward sheep will get got by the wolf, my man. Is what I'm saying. You can be the best leader and you can guide anything, but if that sheep runs off in the opposite direction,
look,
it
but
we're not
he's admitting right now that he wasn't the best leader,
right.
and he's taking accountability for what he was showing in his marriage versus what he should have been doing.
I'm
That's
going
what
to
he's
say
saying
his
right now,
mama
and I
did
respect that.
hit him in the
Right. He knew, he knew. Now, again, TK could have been coming home telling her, clocking, hey, baby, I'm here. I'm going to be home at 10 and show up at 9:30 with food. You know what I mean? He could have did all that and she still decided to do what she wanted to do. But he is openly admitting right now, which is what we kind of need on both sides from men and women to be like, hey, maybe I might have been a little bit of a culprit in what happened because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Like, weren't y'all just talking about deadbeat mothers earlier? Now, if I'm not showing my children good behavior, how to be responsible, how to clean your room, how to clean your ass, how to do your homework, how to respect other adults, wouldn't the result of their behavior be a direct reflection of my leadership to my children?
Right.
That's how he's looking at as the head of household, as
Mm-hmm.
a man.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Look, and it's all about taking accountability because at the end of the day, I chose that position. I said I wanted to be a husband. I said I wanted to take that leadership and do the right things that I was supposed to do, but I failed at that. So anything that happens under that, yes, it's my fault because I had the opportunity to do the right things the correct way, but I chose not to. So everything that transpired in that timeline, yeah, it was result off of what I did.
and see, and I guess the point I want to get to is I want to change that narrative. Because I also feel that way, and I was also brought up and raised that way, to where if relationships don't work out, I take the full brunt of the responsibility for it failing on myself, and I internalize it, and I make it more uh traumatic on me than necessarily it should be, because the other person had equal amount of culpability in what transpired. And so I think the narrative of holding the man to a higher standard of accountability than what you hold the woman to is not, and I'm not saying necessarily just in the man as a head of the household, but just in life in general, men are held to a higher level than women are. And so
And
I want the narrative to be changed into where it is everybody's holding themselves accountable for their actions, because I hold myself to a higher standard than I expect anybody else to hold themselves to.
go ahead, Don.
Bet. I agree. I like what everybody's saying on this panel, man. It's really good. It's a good conversation for especially the youth, so they can understand what accountability is for both men and women. I do want to kind of speak a little bit about accountability for women, because not to just keep bashing women, because I think that's what has been happening on a couple of these lives, and that's what it seemed like. But I do want to talk about that research. This woman, Shirazad Ali. If you go look her up on YouTube, anything, she does have a book out called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And her research kind of just opened my eyes, because just the way I was raised, I've been raised by a lot of headstrong women, and they don't really value men in my family. So that's just my experience. Not saying that all women don't value men, but that's just what I've seen. And so as I'm getting older, I wanted to kind of study what a man's role is in my life, because I've never seen it. It's always been like, the man was wrong. He needs to shut up. He needs to pay the money, make sure you take care of the kid, and the woman's right. And now, I'm not saying that's what they exactly said, but that's just how they were moving. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. It's always their fault. Why the whole breakdown in the family is happening. And so when my dad was one of the first people in my life that had to actually ask me, he told me, what did you contribute in your relationship to that breakdown? He was the first person. It was not a woman in my life that asked me that question. It was my own father. And that was when I realized I had kind of been a little bit, in a way, brainwashed to think it is always the man's responsibility in the breakdown of the relationship. I mean, really, if you kind of look back, we contributed a little bit with some pettiness. We contributed with some, attitude, or just like, manipulation, emotional manipulation, and things like that, to cause certain reactions to get to where we are. And it's just like, I'm just saying, yes, both parties need to be accountable. But we do need to talk about women, being a contribution to the breakdown as well.
Whoa, Don, not too much on these women now. These women are queens.
I have to be
first off, not too much on these women.
I'm just saying, because
Just cut it out.
I've never been, because the woman Shirazad Ali, she got a lot of backlash, because she was like, as women, we're never been put under the telescope. We're never been put in examination on what we've been doing as well in the family structure. And it was very, very interesting. I just challenge people to go kind of watch that and go look at it, just to see, just to kind of make sure you have all the information too. You know what I'm saying? Just, it can't just be one-sided.
But
I know about Shahrazad. I know about her. I
Shirazad.
think yeah, I know. I think that anytime I hear anybody speak or her say something really, really, profound, that even have me like, sis, shut up. But she was right. You know what I mean? But one time she did like kind of condone violence. A man disciplined a woman with violence one time.
Oh.
And I did see that clip. So that's where a lot of women are going to be like, yeah, she might be whatever, but they're going to always hold that against her, because, that's where a lot of their attitude change. I just want to let you know. I don't know. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Please do, because I didn't know that. All I did was read, and I've seen some of the clips where, she talked about the book. So I've only read the book. So yeah, that was actually really good information, but I don't condone that shit.
I don't. Could you?
I agree with accountability on both parties, but fuck that. But thank you. I just want to let y'all know, hey, Don, don't fuck with that.
That's why I just slid it on in there just in case, because we public.
And that's facts. We only bring in facts. I like that. I like
Mr.
that.
Eric Curry, what you got to say?
He's getting settled, man. Let him get settled. He just got back to the
No,
crib.
he eating that hamburger he told us to buy earlier. I know what's going on.
Bro, y'all, if y'all pay attention to Eric's eyes on this chat, bro, it be killing me every time. He be like, you know what I'm saying? Pay attention to his
With
eyes. They say everything.
April, Twisted Root makes an incredible hamburger. Twisted Root probably is the best burger in the DFW Metroplex with the big game burgers.
I'm a rodeo goat person, but go off.
Bro, I don't know. I'm still looking for the best burger. I like Snuffers. Snuffers is good.
I fucks with the snuffs.
So
Snuff.
April,
Yeah.
I do want to say this because I know I talk a lot of shit. I do ask these questions and I have these conversations because I do want to get to the understanding of stuff. So I do play devil's advocate a lot just to challenge the way people think and things like that. And so I do value your opinion. I value everybody's opinion, and I am listening to understand, even though sometimes it might feel I'm being more antagonistic than others. It's because I want you to look at what you're answering to see if there is truth there, as I'm also looking at what you're saying to see if there is truth there. So I think the only way we can have credible conversations is to challenge each other's point of views, and that's all I'm trying to do. So I do appreciate your input, and I do value your opinion sincerely.
Of course, Mr. Human, please. I'm an Aries. The smoke that we had was already put out like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that explains it.
So,
Oh, never mind. I take all that shit back. I'm an Aries.
yeah. So I'm already done with it. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for TK. So I was just like, man, put me in your stuff. I'm not even a poet, dude. Let me in.
No.
Yeah, me and him gonna have a talk about that.
But but no, this ain't gonna be frequent, dude. But I respect you as well. Don't change for nobody. I don't care how much smoke you get. If you need some backup, ask TK to invite me back. I'll come back.
Hey.
Okay, after April.
Yeah. I like it.
But
I
you
like
know
that.
what? This is what I want to say before we gonna get at her because we got like a couple more minutes on here. We've been on here for almost 2 hours.
Mhm.
In
thugging.
15 minutes. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do want to
right.
say, as men, we do need to hold ourselves accountable in each other. That's the only way that we can change the narrative of society. How these women have been raising these kids on their own. We do need to hold each other to a higher standard. We need to start speaking out when we see fuck shit going on. We can't keep continue to turn a blind eye to the fact of what's going on. You have these kids that's been raised up by women, and women, y'all doing an excellent, wonderful job at what y'all do. But in the reality of it, the kids need a man in the house. They need to see their father. They need to see that toughness. They need to see that man going to work, providing all this other stuff. Because once, especially for young men, they seen their daddy go to work. They seen their daddy provide. They seen their daddy love on their mama and stuff like that. They put that in the head like, okay, this is what I have to do. This is my example. And sometimes now we leaving these kids without an example.
Yep.
So when these kids get older, they don't know what to do. Like with me, I had to figure out everything on my own. I caught everything on the fly. That's why I had to go through so many fucked up relationships because I was trying to figure it out. And one day I finally figured out, like, okay, this is not the guy that I want to be. So in order, if I wanted to change the people, that's why I started coaching, started speaking positivity into our kids and our youth and stuff like that. Teach them that they are powerful, they are great, they are omnipotent. Teaching them, how to carry themselves as a man. Because a lot of these women, yeah, they could tell these young boys, oh, this is how a man is, but they need to see it. And just like these young ladies, they need to see a man loving on their mama, treating them like queens.
Yes.
They don't need to see that the men always cussing them out. Oh, F you. I don't. No, they don't need to see that. So that's why I try to encourage, like, man, nah, go home to your family. Oh, you want to go hang out with me? When the last time you seen your kids? Oh, you haven't seen your kids, and man, go try to work that out. But then, they rebuttal is, oh, my baby mama tripping, man. She won't let me see my kids. She just always on some. Nah, because you have to understand, it's a reason why she got to that point. You need to figure out what is the reason why she's at the point that she is. That's a part about being a man, going back and fixing broken relationships for it could be better for you and your kids. And at the end of the day, it's not about you. You have these kids that you have to raise.
But can I ask this to go back to what Don was saying
Oh yeah.
a moment ago? Uh, I agree with everything you say. By the way, I completely agree with that. I do think that in order to raise a well-rounded, healthy child and teach them the right values and the right thing, it should be the man and the woman, or the man and the man, or the woman and the woman, however it wants to be. But the people should be in loving, healthy relationships and show that and all that. And yeah, so I guess
Can we
thing
normalize good relationships?
you said what?
Can we normalize that? Good relationships? Healthy
Healthy
marriages?
relationships. And so uh one thing I would also want to see is I would like to see some of these uh single parents on either gender. I would like to see them take the opportunities to start looking for that relationships and building that relationships, and not necessarily having everything shit, what's a goddamn word? I guess not having it to where you're having the family without having the foundation, having it to where you're building the foundation up to build the empire that you're trying to create.
Okay. So man, we coming to the final hour. Appreciate everybody that came up on Eric Curry, April, the Don, the Don exclusive, and my boy Finn the Human. We go back and forth from time to time. It's all love. Shout out to him. But I appreciate everybody that came over here. Everybody that was in the comment section. Brandon Young, shout out to you. All the other people that I can't really see your names, but shout out to everyone. But we here every Sunday from 7:30 till 9:30, 2 hours. Sometimes we get up to that 2 hours, sometimes an hour. But come in, tune in, and be a part of a great conversation. And we appreciate everyone that played a part in this live. Shout out to y'all. Y'all was wonderful.
Hey, let's go.
And
Thanks,
listen,
y'all.
y'all to
Hey,
give. Go ahead, Finn.
I was gonna say before we cut out, man, Don, I need you to perform something. It's still poetry life, baby.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah. For sure. Let me see what I want to do. Okay, I got y'all. This one, you gonna give me the floor? Yeah, thank you. I need the floor. I'm like, I want to see myself.
Take it.
Okay, for sure. This one is called Me, Myself, and Intellect. I never performed this for Poetry Live. This is the first time. It's just me, myself, and intellect. All that I do when I get home is recollect all the things that I did and all the things that I said, and how much I really love the smell of raw bread. But don't ask why. Because when I think high. I don't think low. When I think of all the beautiful places I can go, I could lounge on an island and eat a mango. I could go sightseeing in Paris and watch the city glow. I just think faster than I blink. And when I blink, it sinks that I'm magical. That when I use this weapon called my brain, it drives people insane because of this inhumane intellectual divinity. It's like literally as if God said, here's some thoughts now, make use of these. So I ponder, letting my thoughts take me farther and farther into this place, something like glue where every thought sticks. And when it sticks, it clicks that I'm powerful. It's like the world is a big canvas and I'm Picasso. So watch out, because I don't really know how far these thoughts go. So be mindful that this mind's full of ideas and innovations, constantly creating creations. I mean, what more do you expect? when it's just me, myself, and intellect.
Fire. Fire. Shout out. The mindful. Fire. I like the wordplay. Hey, you know I like wordplay, man.
Hey.
Where you get that flow from, Don?
Oh, that's all me. You know, and that's nobody else. That's just me.
That flow sick.
Thank you. I love it. Y'all.
Yeah, you gonna have to. I'm gonna have to replay that a couple of times. You know, hey, look, it's one thing and two things. I replay the lines like a couple of times. You listen to your poems and stuff like that, but I can memorize y'all stuff. So whenever y'all get live, I can say the lines with you. Hey, man, say, but I'm gonna have to replay that one. But
Yes,
you know, yeah, we here at the end. I want y'all to give y'all tags and handle, let people know where to find you at. We're gonna go with Phin the Human, the 2-time champion. Let's go.
Let's go.
I just want to say, I'm not your hero. I'm not your villain. I'm just me. I'm Phin the Human.
Okay, and we got the did it done. We're gonna bring her up one more time. Hold on, that's the wrong button. Mute.
Yeah, muted me. What's good, y'all? My name is the Dawn, like the morning sun. See, my poetry wakes you up like the morning sun, and that's what I want to do at all times. Just wake people up. You can find me on my YouTube at Awakening222, and you can find me on my Instagram at Adonis with 3 S's.
Okay, and we're gonna bring up Exclusive.
Shout out, what's up? My name is Exclusive. I keep it 100 because anything less is somebody else. Again, you can catch me every Friday night for Poetry After Dark, right, chill. Or you can find me on my social medias under Facebook, Melissa the Exclusive, TikTok, and Instagram is Exclusive Reign, REIGN.
Okay. And y'all already know what it is. It's TkDaPoet. You already know it. So you ain't gotta quote it. If I spoke it, you already know what that means. Y'all wrote it. Thank y'all for coming out. We here. Hey, we here every week. So stay tuned. And I guess give a shout out to Nigga Royale. She's healing right now. Give a shout out to my baby, Nana. She's look, she's trying to get that leg right. You know, she can't stanky leg right now. You know, but you know we're gonna get it back. So shout out to her. You know, she will be. I try to get her on today, y'all. You know, I try my best. She will. So you know, but one day I'm gonna get it on here. So you know, we have a surprise guest on here. But you know, shout out to her. But again, also shout out to April Martin for coming up here and giving her words, giving her thoughts and everything. So until next time, it's Poetry Life. We here and we out.